Hello, Connie. How's Connie doing this evening? And there's Sharon. Hello, Sharon. How are you? Gladys still must be feeling bad. She didn't show up yet. And there's George. Hello, George. How are you doing? I got a message from the city, a text message, telling me something about there was 100% chance of snow Saturday. I said, what? But we got a 10-day winter weather advisory. It said we're going to get snow Monday. It's crazy. It says, oh, that's the Monday the 15th. This must be off because this is the 18th already. Crazy. But anyway, we got George, Patricia, Connie, Sharon. Gladys must not be feeling well again today or tonight. I haven't heard anything from her. And there's Patricia. Gladys is real sick. Okay, thanks, Connie. Tell her we'll all be thinking of her and saying a prayer for her. George is in Kentucky. Wow. I'm in Kentucky. The snow starts again here, too. Well, I don't know if that was an old message they sent out and I just got it for some reason, but it was saying that there was a 100% chance of snow Saturday. And I haven't seen anything like that in the forecast. And there's Maria. Hello, Maria from South Carolina. Happy to see everybody coming into chat tonight. But the wind has been blowing so much here for weeks now. Even though I have not had my windows rolled down in my car, I've had them up. The inside of my car has a layer of dust in it. The same as my house. And you wouldn't think the car would have dust on the inside. So that's why my allergies have been so bad. Yeah, y'all been waiting for your friends to come in to chat with them. And Maria's in South Carolina. Been waiting for her to come in to chat with you. Waiting on me. Yeah, I was having a little bit of trouble with my phone. I mean, the camera. I tried to start the live and it kept wanting to go vertical. And I said, no, I know I had the setting for horizontal, like it is now. And I had to close it all out, come back in. And then I finally got it to come back in, and then I accidentally started it, which it needed to start, but not until I got the camera set up. But it's okay. We're here. Northeast South Carolina. Been waiting for me to come in and chat with you. Well, like I said, I was having a little bit of difficulties with the camera, but I finally got it to cooperate. Because I did not want to do the horizontal deal. I wanted to do horizontal, not vertical. Here is the prize for trivia tonight. I guess you can see that. And there's Annie. Me let little buddy in. He's at the door knocking. He's knocking at my door. I don't know what he'll do if I have to go on vacation or something. He's going to be a little upset if I'm not around. You got food right there. You go ahead and eat that. Yeah, you go ahead and eat this. And then I'll get you more. Yeah, I got to make him realize he doesn't get more food till he eats what's in his dish. Well, thank you, Maria. Oh no, you just got shots in your back. Well, do y'all like the trivia prize for tonight? It's a bracelet. It's got 2 hearts on it and turquoise stones and then the white ones. I think it's kind of pretty. Spartanburg County. Well, I'm glad you found me, Sharon. I don't know what is showing up in the corner over here. Oh, it looks like something folded over, but it's the front of my bag sitting up there. I see what it is now. That was tripping me out there for a minute. And there's Susan. Yes, ma'am, you have arrived. Had stuff to get done. We have safe water now, so loaded dishwasher and stuff like that. Yeah, my pressure went down a little bit, and I guess they found some broken lines somewhere, but they got it repaired because the pressure came right back up. So I've not been without water, except the water outside was frozen. I tried to put a little bit of compost tea to some of the totes out there today, and most of the water in the buckets were frozen, so I didn't get much compost tea to anything. But I did get a little bit poured out, so if it rains or anything again, it's got room in the bucket. It wasn't weather related, it was bad chemicals, and we have been without since Saturday. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that's a while to be without water. Yeah, how's Connie feeling tonight? What is it? Huh? What is it? He doesn't know what to think about this weather. It was fairly warm today. I mean, it didn't get warm, but compared to what it was yesterday, it was warm. So I did make it to the post office to mail off the rest of those trivia prizes. And I can't believe the postage. Oh my God. Well, you'll see them when you get the prizes you won. Take a look at the postage on the envelope. No dishes or laundry, anything really. Yeah, I know what you mean. That week-long snowstorm we had a couple of years ago, we were out of water part of the time. And I used every bit of the stored water that I had in gallon jugs, to flush the commode and cook with or wash off a little bit with. And I was to melting snow to try to flush the commode with it, or melting snow to wash dishes. And finally, I had to break out my little camper potty because you couldn't use the commode. If you can't flush it, you don't want to fill the commode. And it worked out pretty good. I said, I'm glad I had that camping potty. Because the way you have the liners in it and use it the way you do with the deodorizer, you don't even smell it in the house. So I'm real glad I had that. It came in handy. Susan says I need to learn to meditate. Well, meditation came in real good for me, I'll tell you. I had to have an MRI. I guess that's what it was. It's where they put you in that big tube and do a scan. And I've got claustrophobia, so I freaked out when he tried to put me in there. He had to get me right back out because I was going crazy. He said, what's the matter? I said, I've got claustrophobia. I can't go in there. He said, well, you're going to have to make an appointment with your doctor and get a tranquilizer or something because I can't take a picture of you if you don't get in there. And I told him, just wait a minute, let me calm down, and I'll try meditation. So I laid there, cleared my mind, closed my eyes, and all of a sudden I put myself in a field of flowers. And I told him, okay, I'm ready. I kept my eyes closed. He pushed me in that thing, or it got me in there. He did the scan, got me out, and I was still in the field of flowers. I was never in there. I was just, in my mind, all I saw was flowers across the big field. And he laughed at me. He said, I don't know. He said, for somebody that's got claustrophobia and was scared to death to go in there, he said, you were the stillest of anybody that I've ever did a scan of. He said, I got the best pictures of you than anybody. I said, that's because I was not in there. I was in a field of flowers, miles and miles away from here. So, I mean, it does work if you learn to do it. Oh, wow. Would a, you probably should get you a water purifier. It would take all the chemicals and everything out of the water and make it safe for you. Looks like that would be cheaper in the long run than to have to buy water every month. Get you some type of a filter that's going to filter your water. I need one that goes to my whole house, the main water line that comes in. So it purifies every drop of water that comes into this house, whether it's in the bathroom or the kitchen or where, because all these chemicals dry your skin out. And I have a hard time with that. I've bought water for 30 years. Wow. But you've never thought about getting a water filtering system? Over 30 years' time, I can imagine that was a lot of money on to buy water. Well, my blood pressure's been fine. But I don't know. Some of the tests look kind of sketchy to me. It showed that I had low sodium, which is good because I've been trying purposely to get my sodium level down because I know too much salt is not good. My blood pressure was down, but then some of the other stuff was wacky. So, I don't know. I think somebody was wrong on some of it. Yeah, that's the way to be, Susan. Don't dwell on the past. And there's Miss Weaver. Hello, Mrs. Weaver. How is Miss Weaver this evening? Oh, he's wanting to go back out. Come in one door and out the other. He said he ate his little snack. He was ready to go back outside. Snow starting down, the temperature's dropping again. Oh, that makes me shiver thinking about it. I actually had my heat off this afternoon. That's how warm it got outside. And it's dropped down to like 45 right now. So the heat came back on. Well, that was good that Jesse helped you. Wind chill advisory. But I'm still curious about them sending that message out that we're supposed to get snow. See if I can get up the forecast. Oh, 269. Electric bills has gone up a lot. Yours was 269. I'm trying to get this thing to update. It's supposed to be, I think, 41 tonight. Saturday, it's going to get up to 61 degrees. And then 15 degrees Saturday night. Sunday night's going to be 23 for a high. And 16 Sunday night. Oh my God, we've got it coming again. It says Monday, 25 for a high. 13 degrees Monday night. Tuesday night's only going to be 14. And the high is only going to be 28. So if we get any participation at all, it will snow. Just like I said before. Huh. And then the next week it's supposed to warm up just a tiny bit. But yeah, the beginning of this coming week and this weekend don't look too good. Saturday's going to be beautiful. I just don't know how accurate that is. I'll have to look at another forecast later on another app. That's because you live in an apartment, right, Susan? $78 a month would be cheap for me every month. Wish I could get away with that kind of electric bill. Because I heat with gas and electric. A combination of both. And my electric bill is 2 and 3 times that much. Not to mention what I pay for gas, propane. We did a run of some outdoor lights, but only 4 hours a night. Yeah, I noticed today our gas was down to $2.59 a gallon. I should have stopped and got some, but I didn't. I guess I can go out tomorrow. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I went by the gas pump last week and it was $2.48 when I couldn't get my card to work. We're having some kind of trouble with the pump. I said maybe they didn't intend to sell the gas that cheap. That's why the pumps weren't working right. You never know, Susan. And see, mine is only a 830 square foot mobile home. And when it's freezing cold, I use a lot of electricity and propane. Because this is an older mobile. It's not as well insulated as some of the newer ones are. That's me. I keep mine at about 67. My thermostat. Oh, wow. I bet it's pretty, Annie. A 1940 vintage home. Your whole house is an antique. Connie said her house was built in 1920. That's pretty old too, 1920. Wow. That's even older than the vintage home. The war of the thermostat, huh, Maria? That's what I do. I keep it at one temperature, trying to keep the bill down. And then if I get cool, I just put a sweater or some type of wrap on. And on those real cold days, it doesn't seem like you can get the house warm. I'll have blue jeans and my shirt on, and I'll go get my long bathrobe that goes all the way to the floor, and I'll put it on, wrap it around me, and it keeps me warm. I'd rather do that than to put a blanket on me if I'm sitting on the couch. I just put on my long bathrobe, and it keeps me real warm. That way, when I get up, I don't have to move the blanket. I just get up and I've got my bathrobe on. It keeps me warm. Because I'm not going anywhere. Who cares if I wear my bathrobe over my clothes? Whatever works. Yeah, that's what I do, Marla. I'd put my big fuzzy house coat on if I was cold, because it'll get you warm. It's a lot warmer to do that than to wrap up my blanket. Yeah, they come in handy, Miss Weaver. I don't mind putting my long bathrobe on and getting warm. Somebody comes to your door knocking and you don't want them to see you in the bathrobe, just take it off real quick. And you're fully dressed. Yeah, I have my electric blanket on too if it's very cold at night. Last night I didn't need it. Actually, I got hot under my covers a couple of times and was kicking my blankets off because it didn't get quite as cold, or it didn't seem like it. I know, there's nothing wrong with that, Connie. Be comfortable when you're home. If you can't be comfortable when you're home, where can you be comfortable at? I don't foresee me entertaining the president or somebody famous or important. Yeah, keeps me warmer than anything else, Kathy. I tried a lot of ways to get warm when I was sitting over there watching TV at night, and nothing works as good as that long bathrobe. Hello, Paul's in the garden. How are you? Birthday suit in my 80-degree house. LOL. Taylor and Swift. And there's Kathy Phillips. Hello, Kathy. How's Kathy doing? I don't know what that's all about. Susan says, oh no, now I can talk to Kathy without getting confused. Like I need more confusion in my life. And there's Joanne. Hello, Joanne. How are you doing this evening? I went and bought some thermals. I was about to freeze to death. Dollar General had them on sale. They work well. I've got a few of the shirt. Well, this one is like a thermal shirt, only it's in a like a peach color. And I love to wear them because they're warm. And they've got long sleeves. I always roll the sleeves up because they're a little long on me. But they're warm shirts to wear. And I've got a couple that I actually sleep in if I'm real cold. Because they keep you pretty warm. Yep, like everybody trying to stay warm. Oh, I see. There's two Kathys, so sometimes you get them confused. Thermal Henley's the best, lightweight and cozy. You know where my mother is. You must be talking about Gladys. Gladys is sick. She doesn't feel good enough to get on chat tonight. So she must be feeling pretty bad. Because there's not much to keep her out of chat. And there's Shatika Woods. Hello, Shatika. How are you doing? Blessings to you. You ate a pot of chili beans today and now you're craving ice cream. I could eat a big old bowl of ice cream right now and I don't have any. Oh no, Annie says I'm hungry, haven't eaten all day. Well, I ate a really nice dinner tonight. It was more of a salad than anything, but it was so good. And I did a video on it that I'll post in the morning. Yeah, I could eat a bowl of that chili. Chili beans. I love chili beans. I've got some in the freezer that I froze from the last time I cooked them. I took one bowl out and thawed it up and ate it a while back, but I still got some in there. Butter pecan ice cream. That used to be one of my favorites. I love butter pecan, chocolate. Well, I love them all. Let's face it, there's not any ice cream that I don't think I don't like. But butter pecan and chocolate are my two go-tos. You made some ice cream, snow cream. Oh, okay. Well, our snow was so powdery. I mean, it's unreal. It was so cold that it was like powder on the ground out there, but it was snow. You couldn't even make a snowball with it. It wouldn't stick together. I don't know how it would have been to make snow cream, because usually, it's heavier, thicker than that. It's not real powdery, but it was powder this time. Oh, I wanted to show you what came in the mail. Oh, that's not the one I'm looking for. Where's the one I'm looking for? Oh, I already showed that one. I think this one's it. An air lonanizer? I've never heard of one. But it's supposed to clear the air. Filterless. But they're like plug-ins. You just plug them into the wall. And they're supposed to like clear the air, filter the air out or something. Supposed to be good, I guess, for people with allergies. And this was from the anonymous giver. But there's 3 of them. So, you can pick what rooms you want them to go in. You have to try those. See if they work. Ionic Fresh technology, energy efficient, no filters or upkeep, ultra quiet. So it filters out the air. Put them in kitchens, bathrooms, basements, living rooms, and more. I'll have to try these out, see if they work. But thank you, anonymous person. I appreciate it. They're always thinking of my allergies, sending me stuff for my allergies, whether it's cough drops or vitamin C or air filters. Yeah, these are supposed to be noiseless. They don't make any sound. So I'm going to have to try it out. Well, thank you, Susan. I try to run it in the room when I'm not there. I guess you plug these in and just leave them 24/7. I'll have to see what happens. But the way the wind has been blowing, my house is not that tight. All that dust came in. And I was surprised, as tight as my new car is. Well, I still call it new because I've only got 20,000 miles on it, even though it's a 2018. Um, I got in the car today, to go to the post office. It had a film of dust over the dash everywhere. And my windows have not been down. I got brand new filters put in. My car takes 2 air filters. And I replace both of them. And there's April. Aloha, April. As usual, April's working. But she's listening. Yeah, I'm going to have to try that because I've never used air purifiers before. Work, 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 no play. The wind calmed down a little bit today. It was blowing some, but not like it has been for the last few days. So I was thankful for that. I'll be back in about 30 minutes. You know we'll still be on in 30 minutes, right? I'm back on just straight YouTube. I didn't go through StreamYard this time to see if it was still going to have good reception. Testing my Wi-Fi. I'm back, but loving on CC. Sounds like you got a spoiled little doggy. Oh, you were busy and didn't get your lovins in, huh? Were you not paying attention to CC? All animals should be spoiled. Why would you say that? Well, little Buddy's definitely spoiled. Yeah, and I've been wondering, I said, I don't know who's going to feed little Buddy if I go to North Carolina for a week. I think my son's been wanting to go to see his dad. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else would feed him or not. Evidently, nobody's been feeding him but me. I guess we'll devise a plan, I guess. I don't know. I can feed him. Yeah, but he doesn't stay in one place. He doesn't stay in the house. He's just in and out. So I don't even know what he would think if I was gone for a week. Because he couldn't come in and out like he always does. And I know he would not stay in the house. He's too used to going in and out and being outside most of the time. Because you might could come over here to feed him and you wouldn't know where he was. He's not an indoor cat. He doesn't want to stay in. Unless it's freezing cold or extremely hot. Then he'll stay in a while. Other than that, he wants to be outside. Yeah, I know you're not that far, but it's just the way this cat is, you know. He doesn't stay in the house all the time. And I couldn't leave him shut up in the house for a week. He'd go crazy. He'd tear my house apart. No, just put it out for him. Then all the other animals would eat it. I've got so many animals. I've got raccoons, possums, these other cats that come around. And everybody else would probably get fed but him. So I don't know. There was one time there when I had my cat before that I would board the cat at the vet's office. Because he would board your cat or dog for a week. Of course, it cost. But the last time I did that, my cat got injured, got in a fight with another cat at the vet's office when they let him out in the run or whatever they call it. And then I had to pay the vet bill for him to be treated. So I didn't like that. I didn't know if I wanted to ever put another cat to board at a vet's office again. Because they tried to claim he was hurt when I brought him in, but he wasn't. Well, I got foxes, I got possum, raccoons, armadillos, stray cats. And I got a raccoon that's been using my carport for a bathroom. I started seeing little piles out there, and I first thought it was a dog, but I said, that doesn't look like dog poop. And when that tow truck driver come here yesterday to jump my car off, he saw it, and he said, that's a raccoon. He said, that's not dog poop, that's raccoon. He said, you got raccoons around here. They're eating berries and stuff, and they're pooping in your driveway. I said, oh, great. And once they start, you know, they're not going to stop. They'll keep right on. I'm going to have to get out there with the shovel and get it and throw it across the road or throw it out across the yard or somewhere. Get it out from under the carport. Oh, wow. That's something, Susan. Parts of North Carolina going below freezing for 40 hours sometimes with wind chill temperatures. Wow. That's pretty cold. Picked him up and threw him in the dumpster and called animal control to come get him. I've caught a few in the live trap because I had all these animals getting under my house. And they literally tore out the underpinning under the house. Not the underpinning, the insulation. So I set a live trap. I'd catch possums. I caught raccoons. I caught armadillos. I caught many possums, opossums, or whatever you call them. I caught a lot of cats around the neighborhood. The cats I just let go right then. But if I caught a raccoon or an armadillo or a possum or anything like that, I'd take the whole live trap, put it in the trunk of the car, and go for a ride several miles down the road and stop, put the cage out on the side of the road, open the door and beat the end of it so he'd run out, and I'd watch him run across the field. And I said, I hope you don't find your way back to my house. I did that till finally I quit catching things, but I guess they're still coming around. Because it was one night I had the food bowl out on the porch for little buddy. I opened the door because I heard something out there. And little buddy was on the porch, but there was also a possum on the porch. He was going to help himself to little buddy's food dish. Yeah, I don't mind the possums. I just don't want them living under my house because they do cause fleas. Or the ones I got under my house caused fleas, and I never got rid of the fleas till I got rid of the possum or stopped them from getting under the house. They eat the garden. I mean, you can see where they bite into vegetables and stuff that I grow. So I know they still come in the yard, but they're not getting under the house. Not yet, anyway. But armadillos, they say, do carry rabies and stuff. Some of them do, and a lot more. I like to watch them in the yard. They look like little hogs rooting in the dirt to get the little grass sprouts. That's what they eat. All the tender little sprouts that come up. And if they ever find your garden and it starts sprouting, they'll eat every one of your seeds. Because they'll get every one of those little sprouts. I know they don't pronounce it opossum. It just looks funny when it's spelled with an O in the front. Because I always say possum. And then I wasn't quite sure how to spell it, and I looked up how to spell it, and it had an O in the beginning. And I said, well, I know I'm pronouncing it right. I pronounce it like everybody else does. It's possum. It's not opossum. I just thought it was kind of weird. I see skunks too. And I said, that's one thing I don't want to catch in a live trap. Because I'll get over there trying to release him and he'll spray me or something, you know. Oh, I don't want that. And I definitely would not put the live trap in my car with a skunk in it. Because just as sure as I did, he'd spray my car. And then I'd have to get rid of my car because I couldn't handle it. Yeah, I see a lot of critters that come up into my yard. Like, you know, I've got the road runners. I've got all the other wild birds, which I love to watch the road runners. And I like watching the other animals too. I just don't want them getting under the house. Because they get under the house and try to get up into the ductwork. Oh, they got in the ductwork one time. And I heard all kind of commotion in the kitchen one time. I looked down and I saw these two beady eyes looking up at me through the grates in the floor. There was a possum in my heating duct. He managed to get it separated from where it was fastened up. And he was in the air duct. One coming in my bedroom where that vent is in there. And one night I heard all kind of rattling around in the floor. I said, what in the world is that? I got it, turned the light on, looked down, and there was a possum in that vent, and he was trying to come out of the grate, but it was screwed down, at each end, so he couldn't push it up. I said, thank God they were screwed down. They couldn't get in the house. But a friend of mine was able to refasten the ductwork to where the animals couldn't get in there. But yeah, if they get under the house, they're going to try to get back in the ductwork. And I don't want that to happen. Because they try in the wintertime, they'll get under there and they try to get in the ductwork to get warm. Summertime, if it's real hot, they like to get in there to get cool. Yeah, I almost had fried possum. Yeah, I do too. There used to be a little Western type, I don't know what they would call it. It wasn't really a restaurant. It was like a little grill going toward Fort Worth from here. And on their menu, it was roadkill menu is what they called it. And they had possum and skunk and uh, armadillo and like armadillo hamburgers, and they named everything by some animal. And it was the roadkill restaurant, roadkill menu. But of course, you wasn't eating those animals. It was just named that. Oh no. They used to get in my rock garden, but then I got the air spin, those windmills, the spinners, and that little bit of vibration that goes down the stem that goes in the ground, it keeps them from getting in there. And now I've got one of those, it's a stake that goes down there with a little square piece on the top, and it lets out like a sound every few seconds, and it vibrates just enough that the moles won't go back in the rock garden. They used to get in. I'd plant all kind of flower bulbs in there. One year from the next, I didn't have any coming back up, and then I saw how the dirt was disturbed, and somebody told me, well, you got ground moles. They'll eat every one of your flower bulbs. So that's when I started putting those little windmills things in there, because they said when they spin around, it vibrates the post, and that little bit of vibration, it keeps the moles away. Well, I thought it was kind of weird, I didn't think it was going to work, but I put them in there and they disappeared. I haven't had problems with ground moles anymore. And now I just got that little repellent thing. It just puts out like a buzz every few seconds, and then it vibrates the stick, and I don't have any more problems with the ground moles. As long as I get water, rain and stuff, that my bulbs will come up, and that rock garden looks beautiful every year. Now last year it didn't because it was so dry. Bulbs didn't get enough water to do anything. Leave that silver slimy line. What? Oh, we're talking about mold. Grubs, I guess. Yeah, but if anybody gets any problem with moles, just get you some of those spinners that you stick down in the ground. I think most of mine came from the Dollar Tree the year I got them, because I put 4 and 5 out there in that rock garden, It got rid of every one of those ground moles. They went somewhere else. They didn't like it anymore. They didn't like that little bit of a vibration. They said you can even put a radio in your rock garden and play the music loud, and the vibration of the sound waves will keep moles away. Oh, I see. The grubs leave a silvery, slimy line. Oh, wow. Playing the song Bomb Iran. Sounds like a Beach Boys song. Where'd Connie go? I haven't seen Connie in chat lately. Now he's playing Marty Robbins. Well, that's good, Paul's in the garden. If you got a dog that'll get the moles. I didn't have a dog that would get them. I didn't have a clue as how to get rid of them, and I didn't want to put poison out or nothing. The moles would probably eat your dog. You must have a little dog. They bark at them okay. All the little dogs sound ferocious. Oh, okay, Connie, there you go. I was starting to worry about you. I said, what happened to Connie? I haven't seen her in chat lately. Oh, man. I took a short nap before I started my live. I shouldn't be sleepy right now. But maybe I took enough nap that I want more. That could be it. Yeah, I've heard people ask that too, Susan. When you come out of the restroom, they say, well, did everything come out all right? Miss Weaver said, I'm still here making a late dinner. Well, I did a short video on my dinner that I'll post in the morning. Says, Miss Weaver, did you? Can't read the word behind the heart. Try White's chicken yet. Do we even have a White's chicken anywhere? Did your son try White's chicken yet? Yeah, I know, Connie. We forgive you. I was just worried about you. I missed you. I missed seeing you in chat. So I said, well, where's Connie? Well, that was sweet of you, Susan. Yeah, I wish some of this cold weather would end and the wind would quit blowing. I could put up with the cold if the wind would just stop blowing. I don't like it when the wind stirs up all that dust. I can't breathe. Susan said, if I don't joke with you, it means I'm sick or I don't like you because I only tease people I love and know they can take it. We have Church's chicken, it's good, and Popeye's chicken is good. Well, we have Babe's Chicken Restaurant. They have some really good fried chicken. And they're busy all the time. Everybody loves their chicken. And then, of course, we got Chicken Express, and I can't remember the name of the other place. But yeah, Babe's is a good chicken restaurant. I'm sure y'all have heard of Babe's, right? I don't know how widespread they are, but I'm sure they're pretty widespread. Just always thought Popeyes was hot and spicy, so never went there. Well, Popeyes, I mean, they had hot and spicy, but couldn't you get just regular chicken there too? Yeah, I bet the Cajun chicken was good, but I'm sure you could get just regular chicken there too. You didn't have to just buy all Cajun chicken. I don't think I've ever eaten at Popeyes. We don't have one here. Yeah, Chick-fil-A. We got a Chick-fil-A here in Granbury. Chicken Express, Chick-fil-A, and then we got that Babe's Restaurant. Oh, you're getting a Whataburger? We got a Whataburger here. Got a Whataburger and a McDonald's and Wendy's. We got every restaurant imaginable in this little town. We got Domino's Pizza, Pizza Hut, and we got that Little Caesars Pizza. So we got, and God knows a whole slew of Mexican restaurants. I mean, we got every kind of restaurant in this town that you'd want to go to. The only thing we don't have here that I would love to have here, but I probably couldn't afford to go eat there, and that's an Olive Garden and a Red Lobster. I love Olive Garden soup and salad because you get breadsticks and all that with it, and you know that's all you can eat right there, just soup and salad. Jess, and you had fajitas. Fajitas sounds good. Oh, Kathy's leaving us. Well, good night, Kathy. Glad you could come in and chat with us for a little while. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, y'all. Well, I got 18 thumbs up. That's not too bad considering I got about 38, 36 in chat or watching right now. Y'all are getting better on the thumbs up, I think. Yeah, well, when I get soup and salad, that's all I can eat. Because you get plenty of salad, you get a big bowl of soup, you get the breadsticks to go with it, and then, you know, usually you want to order something to drink. And by the time I eat the soup and salad and a couple of breadsticks, I'm full. I can't eat anything else. Susan says she forgets the thumbs up. Thanks for reminding her. Well, I was undecided whether to play trivia tonight, but nobody's mentioned it, and I've asked several times, and nobody responded. So I took that as we didn't want to play trivia. So that's okay with me. Yeah, Babes is a good deal for two people, at least two. I mean, you could go in there and order one meal, and it's enough for four people. But you're out of luck if you go in there as a single person, just one person, because you got to pay for the whole meal, regardless of whether it's one person or four. And it's plenty of food, yeah. I didn't know that when I first started going there because I started going there with my daughter, my son-in-law, and his mom. And of course, it was four of us, and they always paid. So, and I didn't know that you order either chicken or fish. And if you ordered chicken, you got the chicken for everybody, and then you got the sides that come with it. And everything was one price. So I went there by myself one day, and I said, well, I didn't want to pay for that much food. I'm just one person. They say, well, we're geared for two people. So the best thing to do when you come to Babes is get somebody to come with you. So I guess you're just out of luck if you're by yourself. You just have to pay for all the food. Needless to say, I've not went back. I mean, I'd go back, but I'm not going to go back by myself. Because, you don't mind paying. Well, it's probably more than what it used to be. It was $17 and something before tax then. But I know they've gone up now the way the prices have gone up. You probably pay around $25 for what you got for 17. At least, probably. You want crab legs? I love crab legs, but I don't get them very often because they're so expensive. That's what I used to get when I went to Red Lobster was crab legs. Oh, they were so good. Of course, the last time I went, the one in Fort Worth, the crab legs sucked. As expensive as they were not good. Because, usually the crab leg, the shell is hard and you crack it open. These, when you tried to crack it open, they bent. You couldn't crack them because they would bend. I said, I've never gotten crab legs like that. Well, the federal government has given the Texas governor till midnight to vacate the border. I mean, they want them out and just let all of them come in? Yeah, they just want to open up the border, I guess. Yeah, it's terrible, Susan, because like I was saying one time before on a live, you don't know who's coming in the border. It's not just Mexican people that are coming because of the conditions, with um, the gangsters and all that are in Mexico. It's people from other countries coming in with the Mexican people. I think we have to look out for them more than we do the Mexican people. Because I've already heard there's groups of men coming in. There's groups of children coming in, just boys from like the ages of 5 to 15. And Phoenix, who's in the National Guard, he was in the Army and now he's in the National Guard. He said that some of these terrorists are trained and they come in fighting with children on their shoulders. And he says, I don't know why they're doing that. I said, I do. They figured that you'll take sympathy on that child and you'll not shoot toward that man. They play on your sympathy and your conscience. You don't want to kill a child, but you got to realize that child that's on his shoulders is already a trained soldier. Oh, wow, that's awful, Susan. It's terrible. They're just going to come in and take over. I mean, there's some good Mexican people, don't get me wrong. I've got good Mexican neighbors around here. They're a lot of the ones that are building these new homes. But like I said, there's people from Honduras, people from other countries that are all taking advantage of coming in with the Mexican people through the Mexican border. And those are the ones that we don't want in here, mainly. But you know, you can't stop them all. If you let Mexicans come in, you can't distinguish between someone that's from Honduras or somewhere else, and they're not from Mexico, but they're coming through with Mexicans. Giant rabbit that chewed through the cable. Yeah, they're all military trained. When I heard him say about that, about these little kids getting on these soldiers' shoulders, and the soldier standing there with a gun to shoot you, he figures you're not going to shoot him because that kid's on your shoulder. I got to remembering what I think it was Susan said about they were training kids from like 5 to 15 or 16 years old, and they were sending those boys, those kids in through the border in groups. And I told Phoenix, I said, well, that sounds like those are the kids they're training that get on these soldiers' shoulder, you know. If they're 5 and up, then those 5-year-olds are the ones that get on the shoulders of these soldiers as protection, basically. Yeah, they think that's going to shield them, so you're not going to shoot them because you don't want to hit that kid, so they can do whatever they want. Well, I don't think that way. If that 5-year-old is trained to kill me, I don't mind taking him out. I mean, it's hard to say that because you never want to kill a child. But if they're trained killers, they're trained Army personnel already. You know, what do you do? Yesterday, Pakistan struck back at Iran. Huh. Yeah, and Phoenix is one of these soldiers that's down there at the border. That's where he's at. And he said most of the time they have orders just to step back and leave them alone. He said it's bad, you know. Y'all, it's liable to end up in a third world war, is what I'm afraid of. The cartel might be sending in their soldiers. You don't know, in these groups of men. They could, every one of them, be military for the cartel. They get over here, they'll take over for the cartel. So what the Mexican people are trying to get away from, they're going to bring in with them. You just don't know. I wouldn't doubt it, Susan. This whole world has gone crazy. Why would you want to remove the Statue of Liberty? These people are idiots, you know? The Statue of Liberty has been a landmark for how many years? It's been a virtue statue of freedom. Yeah, they don't want it up there because it means freedom. They want to take over the whole United States. They don't want people here to be free. It is way worse than we know. That's what my son in Phoenix were saying when I was over there New Year's Eve. I mean, they're expecting them basically to get enough soldiers through the border that they're literally going to take over or try to take over. And he said if they do that, you won't be able to even go on the highways in an automobile because they'll be patrolling the highways to get you. He said the only way you're going to be able to travel is through the woods where they don't know you're there. And he said, Mom, if that happens, we've got plans. Everybody's going to meet here. I said, son, do you realize even to drive my car at 65 and 70, it takes me an hour and a half to get to your house? How long is it going to take me to walk that far? I'd never make it. First of all, I'd get lost in the woods unless I went by the highway. And then it would take me a month to do that much walking. He said, well, as far as I am for the job, he said, I'll be walking home, I'll guarantee you. He said, I've already got me a route planned. So, something's going on that the government's not telling you. But it looks to me like part of the government's in on it. Maybe part of the government's in with these soldiers coming through, and they've got plans to dictate to everybody, make slaves of everyone. And I've heard much about, like in 6 months' time, we may not even have food on the shelves in the stores. Well, good for Abbott. They don't need to be here if they're illegal, you know? I don't mind them coming in, anybody from any country, but they need to come in legally. But they say it's too hard to do that. They want to do it the easy way and just come in at will and take over. And then complain because the United States government's not giving them enough money, not taking care of them the way they want to be taken care of. Well, guess what? Just because they want to come in through the border illegally that doesn't make the government have to take care of them. But they've learned even the illegals come in. If they protest, they get what they want most of the time. I need to hush. Need to hush. I'll just get on a rampage here in a minute about it all. I mean, there's good and bad in all people, don't get me wrong. And like I said, I don't mind people coming into the United States as American citizens from other countries, but do it right. You got so many people dying trying to get across the border. Heather Alfonso, how are you doing this evening? We're talking about what a sad state our world is in today. I wouldn't doubt it, Connie. They probably got cameras everywhere. It blows my mind that you can get on that map system with satellite and you can put in the address and you can zoom in on anybody's house anywhere in the United States. So if a private citizen can do that, you know the government can do even better. Yes, I'm having a good day today. Got all my problems taken care of yesterday. I mean, I feel for families that really need to get away from the situation they're in Mexico, and I wish I could help them, but there's nothing I can do. It's all these illegals that are coming in that are up to no good that I don't like. The woman in Georgia trying to prosecute Trump is appointing her married boyfriend to be the head of it. Oh, wow. Me too, Miss Weaver. I'm hoping for a really nice, growing climate summer this year. Hopefully 2024 will be a lot better growing season for us here in Texas. Yeah, a mild summer with some rain occasionally. Enough to keep the ground a little wet, a little damp. Give our plants a drink of water occasionally throughout the week. Not once every 3 months. Yeah, my son said if their military gets over here in force big enough, he said, I'm expect them to take over all businesses. They'll take over everything. You won't have a job to work at. They'll be taking it all over. That's kind of scary. People with these big homes that they got to make payments on, if they're out of a job because the Mexican people or the other people take over, what are you going to do? I know what. You're going to lose your home. You'll be living in the street. You'll have to come up with survival camping real quick because that's what you're going to be doing. Learn real fast how to build a shelter out of sticks and wood and trees. I mean, we laugh about it, but it could come to that. Everybody loses their job because it's taken over by some foreign country's military. What are you going to do? They'll have your house too. Ron could grow beautiful flowers, but won't try veggies. I'm not able anymore. Makes me sad. Huh. Why does he not want to try the vegetables, Annie? Oh, wow. I haven't been keeping up with that, Susan, where that lady was shot. I have freeze-dried food last 25 years. Well, I don't have a bunch of freeze-dried food saved. I've just got a few cans of stuff that I canned this summer, which wasn't much. And I got a couple of jars of cowboy candy that I did last year that I haven't used up yet. But I don't have many of them, so I don't have a stockpile of canned food, that's for sure. Said the guard called wicked old Poliso to see if they could go in 6 times, and she told them every time to stand down. That's what Phoenix said. He said they keep telling them just to leave them alone. You bought a bucket every 2 weeks for the last 3 years. What is that, of dried food, Connie? Yeah, I'm not self-sustaining here yet. No way. Because you saw my garden. I didn't get hardly anything out of the garden this year. So basically the food I get and have in my house came from the store. Because I don't grow my own beef or chickens or anything else. So everything I get comes from the store. I tell you, it's something to start thinking about. People just don't think it's going to happen. They don't, oh, well, that's not going to come to that. Well, hey, you don't know. People never would have dreamed that Japan would have bombed Pearl Harbor either, but they did. Surprise attack. But you just can't be prepared for that. I mean, if all of a sudden there's no food in the stores, what are you going to do? Unless you live on a farm where you grow cattle and chickens and produce your own food, you're going to be in a bad way. Yeah, that's true, but you got to have the water, the what do they call them? Oh, I can't think of it. You got to have all that stuff to catch the water off your roof. The drip guards or whatever. What do they call those things? Gutters. You got to have them put on along your roof. And you may not be able to get any. I mean, all that costs money. And if they take over, you won't be able to get even that in the stores. Probably won't be able to get anything. Yeah, and Hawaiian Islands will be completely isolated. It's just something to think about. I mean, I don't want to dwell on it and just scare myself into a panic, but if it happens, it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do to stop it. And I'll just have to do the best I can. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Oh, wow, Susan, you are prepared. I'm going to go live with Susan. Yeah, I wish I had gutters and water catchment containers out there, to catch the water that comes off the roof. Because when it rains in Texas, it pours and it will fill one of those containers up. I know people that live out here that have done that. They put on a metal roof and then they put gutters, and then they've got those great big, like 100-gallon or 200-gallon water containers that the gutters will drain into. I haven't been able to afford to do anything like that. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that difficult to buy gutters and put them up myself. I don't know. I've never tried to do it. But then you got to buy the gutters and you got to buy some kind of container for the water to drip go down to. Yeah, water collection is a great idea because that's better water. Rainwater is best for you than this chemical treated water. The chemicals is what dries your skin out so bad. Yeah, my propane tank is probably getting down to about half right about now. As cold as it's been and as much as I've been cooking. But I wait as long as I can because I try to get a fill when they send the cards out, when they give you that really low price. That's when I try to fill my tank up. Because propane is just like gasoline. It's high. It's expensive. You have a list. You keep it on your phone. Yep. I've got 2 sheds. I've got the house. I've got carport. I've got patio covers, roofs. I can put gutters on a lot of stuff to catch a lot of water, but it all takes money to do that. It takes money to buy those containers that will hold the water too. Yeah, it doesn't rain that much all year in Texas, but when it rains, it pours, and it would fill up containers in a heartbeat. I mean, even 100, 200-gallon containers, it wouldn't take them long to fill it up. Buy wooden matches and seal them in bags. Yeah, that's an idea. At least you could build a fire outside, huh? But if the cartel and other countries' military come in here and take over, they may take over your storage unit, Susan. They may take up your food stock. You might not be allowed close to it. You just don't know. It's hard to prepare yourself for, something that you don't know is going to happen. Because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know exactly what to prepare for. But I mean, it never hurts to stock up on food or have a back stock, for an emergency, which I don't really have. I mean, I got a freezer and a half full of food. That will last me quite a while, the way I eat. Because with my stomach, I don't eat a lot. It makes me sick if I eat a lot of food at one time. Sometimes I just nibble off and on throughout the day. The last time I went and bought any groceries, I bought 10 pounds of rice. I bought two 5-pound bags of rice. I said, well, I cook a lot of rice, so if anything happens, I've at least got 10 pounds of rice. But they tell you to get 5-gallon containers with lids that you can seal. Stock up on dried beans, flour, sugar, cornmeal, rice. And brown rice keeps longer than the white rice will, I think. But you stock up on both of it because it does last quite a while. I have a radio you can crank to power it just in case. Wow. I know people were not prepared for COVID. And we saw what started happening. So my way of thinking is I try to keep a little extra. I mean, it's not going to last me forever, not a long, long time, but at least it'll last me for a little bit. Yeah, if they come and take over, Susan, they could come to your apartment building, tell everybody you got to go. They're taking over your place to live. You be in the street. They'd have all that food that you got stored. you know, it's something to think about. And evidently, all the guys at my son's job are talking about just that too. Yeah, I never thought about seeing shelves empty. I just took it for granted the stuff would always be there. But you find out what happens. And if we go into a World War III, I don't know. It could put us back in the Depression. Because everything would be going to our military, to keep them fed, clothed, housed, and everything. It could cause shortages of everything for us. This week you had a boil water advisory. Oh, wow. That's terrible, Connie. On the West Coast, the shelves are looking sparse. Hmm. I don't know. It's crazy. Oh wow. No, Gladys is not here today, April. She's not feeling good. Connie said she was too sick to come into chat tonight. She was sick last night too. Maybe she ate something that gave her food poisoning or something again. Or maybe she ate something that didn't agree with her, gave her an upset stomach. Oh, yeah, she may have the flu. I didn't even think of that. They detonated a nuclear device underwater, but it's unconfirmed right now. Well, I wonder where they're planning to do with that. My day was fine, Derek. How was yours? Oh no, April. Let's hope they didn't aim it at Hawaii. A long day during work today, I bet. They want to hit South Korea. Isn't that something? I mean, it's bad enough countries are fighting against countries, but you got South Korea fighting against North Korea, or North Korea fighting against South Korea. I mean, that's ridiculous. Fighting against their own people. Well, if you ask me, Kim is just a spoiled brat that was put in leadership that shouldn't be there. It's crazy. Yeah, Ukraine. I mean, there's fighting everywhere. And I'm afraid we're going to be next here in the United States with all this mess going on. Some people say they're doing all that, distracting what's taking place in the United States. Spend all your time keeping up with the foreign countries fighting and bombing one another, and you don't realize what's going right on in your own back door, in your backyard. Wow. I tell you, it's not going to be a, yeah, it's going to be a World War III if it keeps on. Yep, everybody wants all the money, everybody wants all the control. You're fine, Susan. I like the fact that you're trying to keep us informed. Yeah, investments in arms. I've been keeping cough drops in my mouth, y'all, because I didn't want to start coughing. I've been doing pretty good tonight, but the wind is not howling outside either. I don't know. War is never good. I mean, people die. It's just not a good thing. But I know sometimes you can't prevent it. I mean, if some country's trying to take you out, you got to defend yourself, right? But it's just bad, that one country fights against the other killing people. It's just, I wish things like that didn't happen, but we don't live in a perfect world. We never will. I mean, it reminds me of little kids in elementary school fighting over a toy, or little kids in a daycare fighting over a toy. It's all the same thing when they get to be adults. They fight over their toy, but it's a bigger toy. It's a more expensive toy. I mean, it goes on in every age. Some people want all the money, they want all the fame, they want all the power, and they fight everybody to get it. Yeah, you don't like to hear it, Susan, but you got to know what's going on. You can't just live in a bubble and not see what's going on around you and not know what's going on around you. You got to be informed. Because, in other words, when the shit hits the fan, it ain't going to matter that you're in a bubble. Excuse my language, but that was putting it nicely. All I hope is if they come over and take over, they won't want my little old rundown mobile home. Maybe they'll look at these nicer brick homes and move in them and leave me alone. They'll think they're above living in my little shack. It's never for the right reasons, Connie. It's always because people disagree. They want everything their way, so they fight about it. Countries are the same way. It's people. The cartel in Mexico runs the place. They take over. They want everything for themselves. They don't care who they hurt, who they steal from. They're all in it for themselves. And that's the way these countries are. They want to be in charge. Yeah, we need to be aware. We don't need to wake up one day and somebody's at our front door fixing to move in and take over your house and evict you and not know what's happening. Yeah, I think 9/11 was the start of a lot of it. Only they didn't do as much damage as they thought they would do. I mean, they did a lot of damage. They killed a lot of people, but they thought they were going to hurt us a lot more than what they did by bringing the towers down. They thought our country would come to a stop, and it didn't happen. They started 75 years or more ago. I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, some people think that these foreign countries didn't do enough by bringing the towers down. Now they're sending people in through the border and planting them in different places throughout the United States to end up taking over our country. Yeah, hiding in plain sight, exactly. Well, I'm not going to say any names, Connie, but do you realize we don't have our little friendly people here tonight? If you know who I'm talking about. Or they haven't popped in so far. Yeah. Don't you find that a little strange? Oh, nothing happened. Oh dear, Derek, that is crazy. Climate change, people, it's all part of it. Yeah, people trashing the United States, trashing our country, littering with all the plastic and everything else, causing all this weather change, and that's not bad enough. We got all this other stuff going on. If it's not going to be one thing, it's going to be another. I tell you. No doubt, Susan. I heard some of these people that have electric cars in these ritzy neighborhoods aren't too happy in this cold weather. They're not, their electric cars are not charging very well. I guess the batteries don't like the extreme cold. They don't like it when the power goes off either. They can't charge up. I used to work years ago in Fort Worth, and on the in the office where I worked, this young gentleman, young guy was working there, and he had one of the cars that would run either on electricity or on gas. And he said, man, he loved that car. He said anybody should have one, because if you go driving down the road going somewhere and you start running low on gas, you might not be in an area where you want to get gas, or you may not have gas available. And he said you can always switch over to electric. And vice versa, if you're going down the road on electric and the battery get low, you can switch over to gasoline. And he said it was just really handy to have. And usually a lot cheaper than, just a straight gas engine. Yeah, the batteries probably did like mine. If they didn't have a brand new battery, it probably was deader than a doornail. I guess some of these people weren't too happy when they come out to get in their car to go to work and it was dead. It wouldn't start, it wouldn't charge up. That would not be fun. I want to see them come out with solar cars. That way it doesn't matter if it's cold or not. They're going to charge up because the sun usually will shine. Even if there's snow on the ground, usually the sun will shine. And you're charging your batteries. They haven't got that far advanced yet to make a car solely solar, though. They need to come up with some really high-tech solar panels that are powerful enough to store enough energy in the batteries in a car to keep it running. And they would probably cost so much, I would never be able to buy one if they had it. But one of these days, it's coming to that. It's going to be solar cars, I guarantee you. Forget the electricity, forget the gasoline. It's going to be solar eventually. It may not be in my lifetime, but it's coming. I don't know what's going on, y'all. It's just, it's a bad situation. I know you can control the weather. You can seed clouds and make it rain. So my way of thinking, it's the possibilities of controlling the weather and the temperature and the rain and everything is almost unlimited with the right equipment and the right technology, the right know-how. Who would have thought you could seed a cloud and make it rain? Gas and electric would be okay. I want a solar car is what I want. I don't want to depend on electricity. I don't want to depend on gasoline. I just want to depend on the sun shining. I guess they call those off-grid cars. Yeah, they need to put a steam engine in the automobiles like they have the steam engine trains. Runs off of boiling water. Runs off the steam it produces. But they'd have to have an awfully big engine in a car to do that, I would think. But yeah, I think the solar is the best option. You don't have to have the gas, you don't have to have the electricity, therefore you don't have to have whatever it takes to produce the electricity. I think eventually homes, cars, everything's going to be completely solar. Like I said, it may not be in my lifetime, but I think it will come to that. Yep. Because, I mean, you got rainy days, but, you know, sometimes even on a rainy day, the sun will shine. And if you got strong enough batteries that can store enough energy on the sunny days to run you through the cloudy days, then you should be fine. But it would probably cost so much money. Nobody could afford it, especially in the beginning. Just like the hybrid cars, you know, they're so expensive. But what would be cleaner than solar? You don't have to produce the electricity. You don't have to burn gas. Yeah, trust our Creator and we'll be okay. I don't know. In Texas, I think they do. I'm surprised all of Texas is not solar years ago. If I was younger when those guys come by my house trying to, you know, hook me up with a solar system, be completely solar almost, I would have took them up on it. But I'm not a young person. I don't want to spend the next 25 years paying for a solar system to provide energy to my house. In a lot of places, you do have enough sunlight, Connie. Some places, maybe not. But I think in Texas, in most places in Texas, they got all the sunlight you'd ever need to run solar. Flying cars. Yeah, but they got to be propelled by something, April. Whether it's solar, gas, electric, you name it, it's got to run by something, even if you have flying cars. Hover cars. It's going to come to hover cars too. Cut out a lot of maintenance on highways. The highways will just be a grid line to travel on. The wheels of the car will never touch. Cut down road maintenance, wouldn't it? Jetsons. It'd be kind of neat to have a hover car. You never wear your tires out. You never would have to touch pavement until you stopped. Hi, Elizabeth Wardlow. How are you doing? Welcome to our chat. Y'all, I'm getting silly. I'm just trying to put a little bit lighter feeling into our conversation. Don't want to get everybody down in the dumps tonight. Yeah, you'd have to cut down some trees, wouldn't you, April? It's not sunny all the time either, huh? Yeah, you still need all that stuff. These people that live off grid, even, you know, run their house completely off solar. It costs a lot of money to set up that solar system they use. It's not cheap. And I guess there's maintenance on that just like there is on everything else. Well, I'm glad you came in, Miss Weaver. You have a good night and a good day tomorrow. Yeah, I guess we all need to get off. We've been on here for almost 2.5 hours. We've been on here for quite a while. Yeah, you need the batteries, you need the solar panels, and all of that stuff means maintenance too. And like you said, you got to dispose of the lithium batteries and get new ones, and they're probably not going to be very cheap. April says she wants a robot housekeeper. That'd be kind of neat. As long as it was programmed not to argue with you or not to talk back when you told it to go do something. Yeah, then you'd have to replace your panels. That's what I say, even solar panels need maintenance or need replacing after they wear out for a certain length of time. And we need wings. I don't know if my house is big enough for a robot housekeeper. She'd be banging into everything. Be kind of nice to have something like that. Something you don't have to pay. Something that's not going to argue or talk back. Just get in there and get the job done. Yeah, and you don't ever want to cut your trees down. Your trees are your shade. You like your shade. You don't want to be out in the hot sun. And that's what you need for solar panels is the hot sun. Rosie the robot. Well, like I said before, it's getting late. We've been on here for about 2.5 hours. I didn't mean to keep y'all that long, but I've enjoyed the conversation, and I hope y'all have too. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, girls and guys. I'm just thankful that everybody came in and chatted for a while, and I heard the funniest story once about the robot vacuums that you program to clean like at night when no one is in the way. Well, hi Loretta, how are you? Well, what's the rest of the story, Susan? Now you got me curious. What happened when you programmed at night to when no one is in the way to clean? How's Loretta this evening? The family had a new puppy that pooped on the carpet and they don't know it. So the next morning the vacuum had spread it all. Oh no. That was awful. Good night, Mary. Have a good night. Good day tomorrow. Oh, you got an infection in your foot, Loretta? I'm sorry to hear that. And we'll have to say a prayer that your foot will heal. And Connie's leaving us, so good night, Connie. You have a great night. Even up the walls. Oh no, that was awful. Oh my gosh. You see these little commercials where these little round uh, floor vacuum cleaners are programmed. You just turn them loose and they go around the floor. And every once in a while, you'll see the little commercial where the little toddler, the baby's on top of the thing riding around. They're having the time of their life on the vacuum cleaner. I think that is the cutest thing. The dog I'm babysitting pooped in my house. Oh, gosh. Oh, well. I don't have a dog in my house. Hopefully that's not going to happen here. But again, April, Susan, Connie, Loretta, Mary, Teresa, everybody that came in to chat tonight, I appreciate you coming in. Hope you can come in the next live that I have. And watch my videos above all else. I'll get one out first thing in the morning, or hopefully I will. And like, share, subscribe to my videos. Tell all your friends about it. And I'll see you on the next one. Good night. Love y'all.